Hello. Thank you for being here in this small but connected space. I don't know when you're listening to this story. Maybe after a long, tiring day, in the quiet moments at the end of the day, or simply when you're looking for something to listen to and sympathize with. But whatever the reason, I really appreciate your presence right now. Because today's story is not a lecture, not stereotypical advice. It's a conversation, sincere, intimate, and perhaps touching on things you felt but haven't put into words. We will talk about seemingly small things, like a text message, but behind that is a whole world of emotions. The way we connect, understand, and leave an impression in the minds of others. And if you've ever felt confused while texting someone you care about, ever sat looking at the screen and didn't know what to write, then today's story is just for you. Have you sent her a message, then kept looking at the screen, waiting for something, just to end it all with a K? Or worse, an unresponsive silence. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? You reread every word you wrote, trying to find something to hold on to. But you are not alone. This feeling many people have experienced. And if you are there, this is the story for you. Today I will share with you 3 secrets to texting, not to score points with someone, but to truly connect. Connect with depth, with composure, and with emotions that women cannot ignore. No need for fancy words, no need to flirt too much. Just you, yourself, but a more understanding, deeper, and more sophisticated version. Are you ready? Have you ever texted a woman then sat there waiting in vain? You check your phone every few minutes, rereading your messages countless times, trying to figure out if you wrote something wrong. Maybe you even imagine strange scenarios. Maybe she's busy. Or, did I accidentally do something to upset her? But in the end, you only get a K in return, even nothing. I understand that feeling. Feeling abandoned in a void, while I only want one simple thing, to be responded to be connected. And if you've been there, you're not alone. There are many people who have also experienced that feeling. But what makes you different is that you are learning how to change that. Because the truth is, texting is not a mind game. But unfortunately, many people turn it into a battle for attention that they can never win. They text too much, too fast, too impatiently. They try to find a spell to make her care without realizing that it is that rushed energy that causes them to be forgotten. So what happens if you are no longer the one who chases, but become the one who makes her wait? Not with tricks, but with an understanding, subtle, and emotional approach? Today, I want to share with you 3 secrets to texting, not to manipulate or play tricks, but to help you become the man she remembers, even without sending too many texts. These secrets are based on profound psychological observations and also the calm, strong spirit of those pursuing the stoic lifestyle. Calm, not influenced by emotions, but always deeply present. And the first secret is to arouse curiosity. You know, the human brain is always fascinated by incomplete things. When you pose an unanswered question or leave a situation unfinished, the reader will feel hooked, as if there is a door left unopened, a piece of the puzzle missing. They were forced to fill in that blank. And so are women. They cannot resist their curiosity if you know how to lead them. Imagine this. You text her something simple like, "You won't believe what just happened to me today." You didn't make it clear, no description, don't rush into details. But just that one sentence was enough to make dozens of scenarios appear in her mind. What's going on? Is it related to me? What's so interesting? Or you could write, "I just realized something quite surprising regarding you." That message was neither cheesy nor too romantic, but it opened up a psychological void. And that gap is the key point that she can't help but respond. Because right now, She's not just reading the message. She's imagining, participating in the story. And here's the interesting thing. You don't tell it right away. You don't give the answer right away. Because if you answer too quickly, you've lost the most important thing, her rising emotions. Let's hold it for a bit. Just like how a good storyteller always knows how to stop at the right time before changing scenes so that the listener has to say, "And then what?" If she answers, you can say, "I'll tell you. But first," have you ever had a moment where something unintentionally reminded you of someone? A song, a light, or the smell of coffee? Your answer is now no longer a narrative paragraph. It is an invitation for the other person to participate. You are not alone in this conversation anymore. She is co-authoring with you. Emotions don't come from what you say well, they come from what you do. Activate imagination her, lead gently, and leave space for emotional engagement. When she starts responding with interest, not because you're forcing her, but because she really wants to know more, you've succeeded. Do you remember what it was like as a child, counting the days until your birthday? Or when waiting for relatives from far away to return, every time you hear the sound of a car outside the gate, your heart beats faster. That is dopamine, the hormone of waiting, of expectation, of excited feelings of anticipation. And the same goes for texting. When you know how to create anticipation, you not only make her miss you, but also make her feel something special, even if you haven't texted anything yet. But what's the problem? Most men break that feeling too soon. They were too excited. Send bulk messages, reveal all plans, reply as soon as she texts back. That's not wrong, but it makes everything lose its charm. When everything is predictable and there is nothing to look forward to, people will forget very quickly. On the contrary, a man who knows how to create a waiting rhythm makes her silently check her phone all day, hoping your name appears. You can simply write, "I just saw something that reminded me of you." Then, stop. Don't tell too quickly. She will be curious. What did you see? Why does she remember me? Is it positive or negative? And it is those unanswered questions that set the emotions in motion. When she asks again, you can answer gently, "I was about to tell, but I thought, if I tell you now, there's nothing left for you to guess, right?" Instead of giving it away immediately, you keep some of it. Not to play games, but to make each message more meaningful, more memorable. And really, it's that controlled waiting that makes her feel like she's being led by a man who knows what he wants, and yet is very subtle. I know, you're probably thinking, so isn't that about playing the silent game? Or not? The difference is this: you don't stay silent to control, but you create silence to lift emotions. You don't ignore it, but you proactively create enough anticipation, making her see that every time she talks to you is an experience worth waiting for. And don't forget, you still have to keep your word. If you promise to tell her later, then actually go back and tell her, so she can see you're trustworthy, not just flirting and disappearing. This will make her feel safe when opening up more in the future. You don't need to text all day, but if every text makes her wait with pleasure, then you've scored more points than you think. And now, let's come to the final secret. Also, the thing that makes you the most different in the eyes of women: knowing how to compliment properly. We are often advised, give compliments to women, but few people tell you what kind of praise is really effective. Because the truth is, an empty compliment, speaking instinctively, can be counterproductive. You tell her, "You're so beautiful, you're so cute." It may be true, but if it's something she hears dozens of times a day, then you're just a faint echo in the crowd. A man who truly moves her is one who can see what others don't. A small detail, a subtle quality, a beauty that no one notices, but that touches her. Instead of saying, "You're so cute," try, I've noticed that every time you talk to someone, you look them in the eye sincerely. That makes people feel very respected. Or instead of complimenting, "You're so smart," say, "I'm very impressed with the way you analyze today's problem. Not only are you smart, but you're also very calm." This compliment isn't just profound. It shows her that you really pay attention, really listen, and appreciate her for who she is, not just her appearance. And you know what? When a woman feels seen, understood in a way no one else can, she will remember you for a long time. But there's one more thing: time. Complimenting at the right time really touches the heart. Don't rush to compliment just to fill the gap. Wait for a genuine moment when she is talking about her passion, her dream, or a personal story. At that time, you give a compliment as a respectful, unobtrusive recognition. And most importantly, don't praise to get anything in return. Don't compliment just to be liked back. Praise because you really feel it. It is that sincerity that creates the strength of a calm and profound man. Do you see? These 3 secrets, not tips, but ways to text with heart, with emotional intelligence and real presence. That's what the Stoic man understands very well. There's no need to say much, but every word has weight. No need to try to impress, but still make the other person remember forever. You don't need to become too flashy or too skillful. As long as you know how to properly arouse curiosity, create emotional anticipation, and compliment deeply and sincerely, you've made a difference. And when you do that, you will no longer be a chaser anymore, but you become the person that makes her look forward to texting with you, not because you mean it, but because of the feeling you leave behind. Thank you for listening this far. If there's just one thing you want to do today, start small. Instead of telling everything, try leaving a little space. Let the other person step in and complete the story with you. Because sometimes, not everything needs to be said right away. What moves people is the feeling of being discovered, waited for, and seen in a profound way. Are you ready to become that kind of man? And after you've made her curious and given her the space to wait in excitement and lightness, this is when you make her feel seen. We often think of compliments as simply an expression of admiration, something to start a conversation. But actually, a compliment at the right time, in the right way, can reach an emotional level that no other flirting can compare to. Women have no shortage of compliments. They hear them every day from social networks, from strangers on the street, sometimes even from people who have no serious intentions. But because of so many general compliments, they are extremely sensitive to compliments honestly. Compliments come from observation, from depth, from a look that is not hasty but full of understanding. Instead of saying, "You're so pretty," watch the way she tells stories, the way she cares about others, or even the way she stays calm in an awkward situation, and compliment that. For example, you can say, "I've noticed that every time you talk about something you care about, your eyes light up like a child's. I like that energy. It makes people want to be around." Or, "I think what impresses me the most is not the way you dress or look, but the way you listen to others without judgment. Rarely does anyone do that." You see, that compliment doesn't lie in form, but in depth. It shows that you really listen, really observe, and more importantly, you best regards her true self, not what is out there. Compliments like that don't make women blush because they're embarrassed. They make them smile because they're touched. Because in an age where people easily compliment each other just to please, a man who knows how to wait for the right moment to say a sincere compliment is the one who makes women feel safe, respected, and feel valuable. But don't forget the most important thing. Don't rush. Don't try to find compliments every time you text just to keep the conversation going. Let it come naturally. Take a look. when she shares something she believes in or talks about an experience that resonated with her. That's a great time to say something that makes her feel validated. It's like when someone tells you something they're proud of. They don't expect applause. They just hope someone actually listens. And when you compliment at that moment, your words are no longer a word, but an acknowledgement, a silent thank you. I see. I understand you. And when you make a woman feel understood, all distance disappears. It's no longer a normal conversation. It becomes a private space, a place where she can be herself. You're no longer someone who texts to stay connected. You become someone she wants to share with, a trustworthy person, someone who makes her feel emotionally, I don't have to be judged. I don't have to stress. I don't have to play a role. All you do are just three things: arouse curiosity, create anticipation, and say something sincere at the right time. But what you get back is a relationship built from real emotions, from real connections, not from a few jokes or endless messages. You don't need to be the perfect man. You just need to become a man who is present, subtle, profound, and with a heart that is calm enough not to rush, strong enough not to need to prove anything, and sincere enough to see what others overlook. And believe me, that's something women can't resist. So there you have it. With me through 3 seemingly simple, yet incredibly powerful secrets in how you text and connect with a woman. The first is curiosity. You don't need to tell everything. You just need to leave a small gap in the story, just enough to make her want to learn more. It's that void that will spark her imagination, making her unable to help but respond, unable to help but think about you. Next comes the waiting. Sometimes, a short silence, a little holding back, will create a stronger emotional effect than any words. You don't need to rush, just know how to keep pace, so she can see that you are a man with depth, who knows how to lead naturally and maturely. And finally, a sincere compliment. Not empty words, not meaningless sweet words. It's a compliment at the right time, in the right place, for the right thing that she truly values in herself. That's how you let her know, I see you. Not just your appearance, but the values you carry in every action. Those 3 things, when combined, will create a texting style that doesn't need any color or tricks. It doesn't just make women want to text back, it makes them feel truly connected. They don't just read your messages, they remember you, think about you, and look forward to talking to you more. You don't have to be good at talking. You just need to be someone who knows how to feel, know how to listen, and know how to be present with a calm, steady energy. Where you don't say too much, but every word has depth. Where you are not in a hurry, but always know the right time. Where you don't just want to impress, but really want to understand, want to connect. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this story, it's this. Always text with your heart, not with fear. Don't text just to get a response. Don't say what you think she wants to hear. Say what you really feel, tactfully, understandingly, and sincerely. Because you know what? In a world where everyone talks a lot, one person knows silence at the right time, know create space for emotions, and know see the good in others, is the person who makes people remember and never forget. Thank you for being here, for listening to the last lines. If you're in the beginning stages of connecting or have been stuck with endless text messages, I hope, after today, you'll start to feel a little different. No need to change yourself. Just change the way you look and the way you feel. Because sometimes a word said at the right time, a message sent from the heart, can be the thing that makes someone feel safe, understood, and want to stay. And who knows, from those messages, something wonderful will begin. And at the end of it all, you will realize true connection doesn't depend on how many messages you text, but in the feeling you leave behind with each line. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to be real enough, deep enough and subtle enough to make a woman see. He sees me, not just the outside, but the things inside that perhaps I've never even realized. If you take anything away from today's story, remember this. There's no need to rush to get a response. Text with presence, by heart, and with the calm spirit of a man who knows what he is doing and why he chooses it that way. Thank you for being here. If you feel like you've grown a little more after this story, allow yourself to apply one small thing from today. And who knows, from one text message, a beautiful connection will begin.